Hello, my bookish friends. Welcome or welcome back. I'm Elizabeth. This is Reading Riley. And today we're going to do something kind of fun. I am going to look back at my video that I made for 2021 goals. And I'm going to react and I'm going to see if I accomplished those goals. I'm a little bit nervous because this video was one of the first videos that I made for this channel. I started in November of 2021. Yeah, I started in November of 2021. So I made this video at very much the beginning of my journey. So I know it's gonna be cringy. I know I like kind of don't want to watch it at all, but this is the perfect purpose that it's serving. And then after we watch that, I'm gonna tell you my goals for next year, and then we'll do this all over again next year. It's gonna be a wild ride and we're gonna have some fun, so let's do it. All right, here goes. Is responsible for 2021. I must know who is responsible. I'm already embarrassed. Oh, jeez. This is the first year that I've actually set out goals for myself because I'm on YouTube. So I guess that's one of the perks to being on YouTube, Booktube. I'm so much more comfortable talking to the camera now. Hopefully I will have accomplished every one of them. That is what I'm setting forth right now. I'm putting it into the air. It is the secret. Okay. It's going to happen. First of all, I want to start a Twitter account. Okay, I did start a Twitter, and that's all I did on Twitter, is start a Twitter. And I only started it because I, for some reason, needed a Twitter to sign up for that stupid tier ranking website. That's the only reason I started it. I don't think I've followed anyone. I don't even know, but you know what, to be honest, I don't care anymore. Like, I was very much, when I first started getting into booktube, interested in like the drama and all of that, but I don't really care about that stuff anymore, so I'm fine with where I'm at on Twitter. Which also, I want to track my reading stats. Another goal is to read more diversely, so tracking my stats is going to be a way for me to keep on track with that. Okay, as far as tracking my rating stats, I mean, I track it on Goodreads, but other than that, I really don't. And as far as reading diversely, I have made an effort to read more diversely, not as diversely as I could be reading, but I think I have read more diversely than I had in the past, at the very least. And if I had been tracking my stats, I would know, but I wasn't, and I didn't, so I don't. Okay, also this year, I want to participate in at least one readathon. Okay, readathons. I did participate in readathons this year, and I've had such a blast with readathons. I've done it like probably 4 or 5. I did Weekend Ween, Summer Ween, Thrills for the Weekend twice. I love readathons. I've met so many awesome people through readathons, so absolutely accomplished this goal. Happy with that. Let's move on. Okay, this is kind of controversial because I'm not on Booktube for subscribers. But I do understand that the more subscribers I have, the farther reaching my content will be and the more I have with people. And okay, spit it out. Excuse me. So it is a goal to have more subscribers, although it's not end all be all. If I only had 50 subscribers forever, you know, that's perffically fine. Oh, I have 50 subscribers at this point. For the year is to get 500. And I don't think that's unattainable. My goal for the year was 500 subscribers. As of a couple days ago, I have 1,500. Wow. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. I'm really happy with that. I feel seen. And that's always nice. Oh, as far as that burp, I was really determined to not edit out embarrassing things. Like, I wanted to be authentic as possible. And so I was like, if I burp, I'm gonna burp. If I cuss, I'm gonna cuss. Granted, I still cuss all the time, but most of the time I'll cut stuff out like that. Anything that's not relevant or just me being silly, I will cut out now. But that was a conscious choice to leave in that burp. Very conscious decision that I made. And an interesting one. The Book Riot Read Harder challenge. I'm participating in that with some of my friends. I've already listed out. Okay, the Book Riot Read Harder. I did not finish that. I think I did read some of the things on that list, but definitely didn't finish that. Whoops, my bad. My editing has gotten way better. It's so funny how, like, not only am I looking at my goals, but I'm also taking a moment here to realize how far I've come since I made this video. And I'm really proud of myself. I did not know what I was doing when I started this. I had no idea. And all the little things that I learned along the way are just becoming very clear right now. And I think this is a healthy experiment that we're doing right now, because I'm proud of myself. I'm so awkward on the screen right now. I have no, like, I have no sense of being on camera. I'm just being ridiculous. It's really cringy, but I'm happy to watch it right now. If you guys want me to go through the choices I've made, let me know in the comments below, and I can make a video of every book that I thought about. No one asked for that. That did not happen. Next, learn how to master the art of hyperlinks. It's not an art at all. YouTube does it for you, and you just copy and paste. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so grown up, you guys. I learned how to copy and paste. Wow, I'm embarrassing. I'll do it. You did. You did. Anyway, the next goal is to figure out if I like graphic novels. Okay, so I did read that one. I read Why the Last Man, and that's it. I started Paper Girls, but I never finished it. I do think that there are graphic novels out there that I would enjoy, but I am at this point not really interested in that. I'm very much more invested into audiobooks now at this point, so I can't see myself taking the time to sit down with a graphic novel. Although if you have any suggestions, like horror or thriller graphic novels that I might like, I might pick it up. I probably won't. Don't do that. Part of my goals is to kind of narrow down certain tropes that I like in different genres and figure out my specific tastes. Yeah, my specific taste is an ongoing pursuit that will always continue to be a goal of mine. We only have so much time on this earth and so much time to read books, so you know, it only makes sense to figure out what I like more and more. That way I can narrow down specific things that I like and ultimately become more successful in the books that I choose so that I will enjoy them. That is a huge continuous goal for this channel, for my life, for my reading. Make connections with more booktubers. I mean, that's the reason for all of this. Make connections with people who love the thing that I love. Make connections with more booktubers. I've absolutely done that, accomplished that goal. And not just booktubers, but like people in the community, just people that watch booktube, people that love books. That's been one of the most fulfilling things about this journey, is getting to meet all these people, talk about books. And not just that, but I love that booktube has a spot for everyone. If I meet people in real life and tell them about my booktube channel, I always tell them, you know, if you don't read the books that I like, you will find somebody that you like, that you relate to, that reads the books that you read. People don't know. I didn't know. And that's the cool part, is that it's just, there's something for everyone on booktube. And there's someone that you're gonna find that you absolutely love and connect with. Consistency with booktube posting, that is really important for me. That's why I've only set myself a goal for once a week. Yeah, consistency. I feel like I've accomplished that. I used to post every Wednesday, and I don't do that anymore. I find time during the week to make content and to read and all of that, but I just, as long as I post once a week, I'm satisfied with that. I think there may have been 1 week in the last year that I missed. But other than that, I always post at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, so I'm happy with that. The actual number of books that I want to read for this year, I've set to 75 books, which is absolutely attainable. Absolutely accomplished 75 books in 2021. I think it ended up being 138 that I read in 2021, so super happy with that. The year before that was 82. And I wasn't even on BookTube then, and of course BookTube just pushes me to read more so I can have more content, more things to talk about, but it also like pushes me to do it in not a negative way, because I like doing it. Check mark, check there. I think 75 is just kind of right there. I've already read more than that this year. So this video feels so long. I'm so bored with myself. Another goal is to make creative content, not just kind of typical BookTube content. because
Have I made creative content?
I don't know. I feel like you know, a lot of times I do make the typical videos that a lot of people make on BookTube, but I feel like I've brought my own creative spin to them in some cases. Definitely become more creative with my editing, and that is the part that I really like to be creative with. At this point, I had no idea what I was doing. I was filming on my phone, I was uploading it, I made like maybe 2 cuts in the whole thing, and I was awkward, and I feel the release of being creative while making content. So that was the goal of this, so I'm gonna say yes, that I accomplished that. You know, putting a notch on the bedpost, so to speak. Ugh. That was a bad reference. No, and the last goal, well, actually it's not the last goal. I have another one that I didn't write on there, is to master my new camera.
Okay.
I know, don't start a BookTube channel and get all of this equipment and, okay. Did I master my new camera? No. But do I know how to use it now? Absolutely. I had it at this point and wasn't using it because I was scared of it. I have crossed that boundary, that hump. I absolutely could be doing more with it than I do, but for what I use it for, I feel like I'm very comfortable with the knowledge that I have in it. Did I actually read the manual and do everything that I said I was gonna do? No, I did not do that. But I'm very happy to have it. I really am. I love my camera. I'm wearing the same nail polish. Maybe put some plants back on my bookshelf. Those look nice. Lastly, I have another goal this year is to read banned books. Did I read banned books? No. No, I read Catcher in the Rye. There are more classic banned books that I want to get to. I really want to read Animal Farm. I don't know if that was a banned book. I feel like it was. But like classic dystopians I really love, like 1984, Fahrenheit 451, stuff like that. I will see you next time. Cheers. Cheers. All right, there we have it. Okay, let's talk. Okay, that was minimally cringy. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, I'm okay with that. But let's go ahead and talk about some of my 2022 reading goals, because we need to get this down, we need to put it out there, we need to put it in the ether. And so with that being said, there's one thing that I want to discuss with you that is very silly, but nonetheless a goal of mine that I have. And that is to, like, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but I'm gonna say it. I want Kayla from Books and Lala to know that I exist. The reason for that is that she is my BookTube gateway girl. Like, she was the first BookTube video that I ever saw, and she's the one that inspired me to start this channel. And so if she, I don't want much, but if she knew that I existed and that I had a BookTube channel and, I don't know, somehow like acknowledged that or like commented on one of my videos, that would just blow my mind. That would make my absolute year. Like, I would shit myself. I would be so happy for that. So this is just me putting that into the ether, putting it into the atmosphere. And, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. I will go on living. I will be okay. But I'm just putting it out there. That's all I'm going to say about that. The next goal that I want for 2022 is I want to push myself to actually review every book that I read on Goodreads, because I've been kind of slack about that. Not only is it good for Goodreads as a platform, now that I'm obsessed with Goodreads, we all know Goodreads needs help, needs work, but I use it a lot. I use it to track everything that I do track, but it's also going to help me when I'm doing my wrap-ups at the end of the month, because a lot of times I've read so many books, by the time we get to the end of the month, I don't remember the names of the people in the stories. I don't remember my initial reaction when I first read the book. I don't, you know, have clear recollections of that. So I think if I make a conscious effort to actually review, at least say something about the book as I read them, then that's going to really help me when I'm doing my wrap-ups at the end of the month as well. So as far as the amount of books that I want to read this year, I've set my Goodreads goal to 100. I think that's attainable. I think it's, you know, I easily surpassed that this year, and so I just think that's a nice even number. I like that, so we're going to say 100 books. Okay, as far as my YouTube growth, again, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm appreciative of every single person that follows me. So like, this is not like an ultimate goal to just be popular, but obviously it does help me with other goals that I have for YouTube, like potentially maybe making money at it someday. So I do want to set a goal for subscribers to 4,000 for next year. And I know that's lofty, but last year I wanted 500 and I got 1,500. So I way exceeded my expectations. So, you know, why the hell not? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But there's no harm in putting it out there, right? And that being said, as far as like growth goes, I would like to have some sponsorships. I would like to have some sponsorships, some partnership. I would love to partner with Book of the Month. I know that's like a huge, I know so many booktubers do that, but it just makes sense. It's just the perfect company. It's the perfect fit to do a partnership with, especially because I already use it and already love it. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't put other people down for that opportunity as long as I appreciate what their product is and like the product. Because I would love to be able to make a little bit of money doing this. It's something that I love, and if you can make money doing what you love, then why the hell not, right? And also on that note, it would be amazing if I could be approved for just one audiobook on NetGalley. We're setting the bar low here, people. I would love to be approved for one single book on NetGalley because it's yet to happen and I'm kind of getting frustrated. I did recently pick up a book that on the to read or like read now thing, and I'm working my way through that. So hopefully that will help. But again, setting the bar low, like let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. I'm gonna do it. Also, like I do want to make sure that I'm managing my time this year when I do go back to work. It's a lot easier for me right now because I'm not working, and even though I'm not working, I still feel busy every single day. I feel busy. So it's like adding 40 hours a week onto that for going back to work. It's definitely gonna challenge me to get on top of my time management, make sure that I am, when I do have time, I'm spending it where I want to spend it, because I'm only taking one class this semester, but I'm still gonna be in school. So I have school, work, and booktube. On top of that, being a stepmom, being a dog mom, keeping my house together, seeing friends and family, things like that. Like it's just a lot. It's a lot to handle. So I just want to stay on top of my time management and make sure I'm putting it towards the things that I want to spend it on. Also, obviously, like I said earlier, still narrowing down the tropes that I like, the twists that I like, the genres that I like, the authors that I like. And I would like to read more backlists from some of the authors that I've already found that I love, like Karen Slaughter. I'm not gonna say I can read Karen Slaughter's entire backlist this year, but let's say five books from Karen Slaughter. I really want to start I think it's Will Trent series, Blindsided. It's something Trent. I don't know if it's Will Trent, but I really want to start that very soon. But yeah, let's say 5 new to me Karen Slaughter books this year, and I would like to eventually read her entire backlist. Oh, okay. And then lastly, I do want to focus more on mental health and on psychology in my channel because it's something that I'm really passionate about, that I'm really interested in, that I know a little bit about. I think I have talked my friend Kara into joining me on this channel for at least one episode of kind of an interview style of me interviewing her. She is a practicing psychologist and has her own practice. And she's also a voracious reader as well. We very much bonded through books. And so I'd like to talk to her about psychology in books and how it's handled, certain tropes, how she feels about them, and just kind of pick her brain about psychology. And maybe if I'm lucky, she'll let me turn it into a series. So we'll see how that goes. But generally speaking, I do want to continue talking about mental health, continue talking about psychology. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, then follow me on Instagram. But if you follow me on Instagram, I do a lot of times, like I'll post on my stories, motivational things, very much like mental health, positive type things. And I just want to make it very clear that I'm not preaching to people because I'm posting those as much for me as I am for you. I deal with a lot of anxiety. I have dealt with panic disorder in the past. So, you know, a lot of that is always on my mind. Even if I don't talk about it, it's always on my mind. When I see something that touches me, that touches my heart, that touches my soul, and I share that, it's part of that is just like claiming that, and also hopefully making someone else not feel so alone in it. So it is something that I'm passionate about, that I like to talk about because I suffer with it as well, and I know a lot of other people do. And so if anyone ever wants to talk about stuff like that with me, absolutely reach out to me. I'm happy to talk and maybe just find some solace in each other in that. Kind of a tangent, but yeah. So that's it. Those are my goals for 2022, and we will revisit this next year and see if I have accomplished those things. So that's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thank you so much if you're still here. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Don't forget that life is short. So read Riley. Cheers and goodbye.